Okay. We need to talk. We need to talk about how amazing it was to watch someone skate without anxiety. This is the dream. If you have ever competed in anything, I trust that you know the feeling of anxiety, the feeling, for example, the other side of the scale when Ilya was skating and when Ilya finished skating. I know that feeling. I know the feeling, the look on his face, the look in his eyes when he was skating, when he was trying so hard to gain control and could not gain that control. He was filled with anxiety. And then when it finished, he was filled with disappointment. Now, on the other side of the scale, Alysa Liu skated without anxiety. That was incredible. Number one, awesome skater, great skater, beautiful to watch, just so filled with joy. But it wasn't always that way. You can tell when a skater is skating for fun, and you can tell when a skater is not skating for fun. So, a little bit about my background. I've skated my whole life, but I started competing at 4 years old. I skated my first year at the world level and won the world championships my 14 to 15-year-old year in skating. So I was skating technically as a 14-year-old based on the season, but I turned 15 in the summer and I skated my first world championships as a 15-year-old. I won that world championship. I didn't understand pressure. I didn't understand getting nervous. I didn't understand any of that until that happened. I then continued to win 3 more world championships. So 16 years old, 17 years old, and 18 years old. And then I retired. I was done. I was super, super, super burnt out. And I talk about this here and there, but I've never really done a video, I don't think, going fully into context. But I used to get very, very sick. And I won't get into graphic detail, but very sick before I would go out onto the floor. So they would quite literally call my name, and my coach would make sure there was a trash can nearby just in case. And a lot of times that trash can had to be used, and then I would take the floor. But none of that happened until after I started winning. So there is a lot to talk about in this. And like, I literally want to dissect this and study it because I've never seen anyone skate on that large of a scale freely. That's the word that everyone keeps using. And it's the word that I connect with the most too, is she looked free. Skating and acting with that little care, I want to do that. Like, I want to go back in time and do that. I want that for every skater. I will know that every skater wants that for themselves. And so it just blew me away to watch her skate and to watch her win. I've never seen anyone win skating that way. And I honestly didn't even know if it was possible. Seeing her look up into the crowd and be able to enjoy the moment, I've literally never seen anyone do that, which is crazy because skating is a sport, yes, but it's also a hobby and it's something you do for fun. And somewhere along the way, that gets so lost in competitors. I have learned, and it took a lot of years to learn this, but I have learned how to approach competition, and I've learned how to coach competitors to help in this. But I had a great support system around me. No pressure that I was feeling was coming from outside sources. It was fully coming from myself, and it was fully coming from me not wanting to to fall backward, I guess. I was at the top, and when you're at the top, the only way to keep going is to stay at the top or to fall down. When you're not at the top, when you're closer to the bottom, it's really, really fun. It's really fun to work your way up. And luckily, I did experience that. I was not always a good skater. I started at the bottom and literally made my way to the top. One factor was that I'm very small. I'm very short. And I sincerely did not know how to push until I was about 11 years old. And when you start competing at 4 years old, that gap from 4 years old to 11 years old, it's a lot of years. It's a lot of years of losing. So I lost for a lot of years. And my way up was very, very fun. And then by the time I got to the top, it was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And I have done a lot of work within myself to then be able to teach other people and guide other people and help other people. But within myself, I had to realize that if I mess up, if I completely mess up, are my friends still going to be my friends tomorrow? Are my parents still going to love me? Everything's going to be okay. Like, it doesn't really matter if I win and do an amazing routine, or if I completely flop and do a terrible routine. It's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I had to truly understand that to get over the anxiety that I was feeling. And it truthfully wasn't until I took a year off. I took a year completely off from skating and came back the next year. So I came back as a 20-year-old skating in the senior event, and I ended up getting third at that world championship. Still amazing, but I had lost a year of training basically and had a really hard time getting back into it. And I missed it. I missed training. I missed performing. I missed being on a large stage. I missed creating a routine and showing it off to the world. And they mentioned when Alysa Liu was taking the floor that this is her art and she's excited to showcase her art. And I had never really thought of it that way. I knew I missed performing, but I didn't realize that that was my art. I honestly didn't even see myself until much later in life when my husband, who is a very, very creative person, was like, you don't see this as creative? Like, that's madness. It wasn't until years later that I understood that skating and choreographing and every ounce of that is creativity and is artistic. It is literally called artistic roller skating. And I did not understand that that was creativity, genuinely, which seems so very silly now. But when you're a really young person going through this, it's simply a way of life. You don't know any different. It's what you do. And it's not a sport or a hobby. It's literally who you are. And that's a really weird thing to say out loud. I don't think I've ever said that out loud. But like, I was a skater. I was and am a world champion. And I don't know why this is making me emotional, but we tend to lose the magic and the whimsy and whatever it is that made us special to begin with. And I think that that's a very common thread through life, not just in skating. But if we lose that magic and if we lose that whimsy and the fun, then what's the point? And that's exactly why I myself had to retire and had to quit, because I needed to find that again. And I think the same is true with Alysa Liu. She took 2.5 years off and then came back and did this and won. And I think it is truly because of those 2.5 years that she could do this. Without taking that time off, I don't think she would be here. And she would not be skating like this. So I think that's the secret, is getting to know yourself. It's finding the magic and finding what's special. You have to find that thing, the thing that made you start doing it in the first place. Find that, and that's going to help you, and that's going to help you get to where you actually want to be. Because without that, you're just going through the motions. So I guess if this is for life, but like if there's any skaters watching this, pay attention to how you feel in practice. Pay attention to who is around you. Do you feel encouraged? Do you feel supported? Do you feel seen? Do you feel helped? If you don't feel that from your support system, your coaches, your family, your friends, if you don't feel that, something needs to change. And if you do feel that from the people around you, but you don't feel it from within yourself, which was my case, figure out what's missing from inside you. For me, I was simply putting too much pressure on myself. There was no reason to have that pressure being put on me. It wasn't coming from an outside source. It was strictly coming from me. And once I let that go, and for me, that was completely removing myself from the sport, letting go of that pressure, I realized it was fake. It wasn't there. I was okay. Me as a human, I was healthy. I was strong. I felt good. Life was good. That's the only way I could come back and step into it again, and then coach for years and years and years and years, and then coach now competition and recreation and everything in between, because I love it. I love what I do. And Alysa Liu loved skating that routine. And I loved watching it. Oh, that made my day. Not even her winning, just seeing her skate like that. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Bravo. That's all. I hope you have a beautiful day. If you have not watched that routine, watch that routine and just look into her eyes and just see that she has no anxiety. She's having fun and she's showing off her art. Wow. I didn't expect to cry making this. Okay. I'll see you later.